So we're going to tell PHP we're making a function, and we're going to call this function get questions. Now you can name your functions however you like. You can use your own naming conventions, just as long as you follow the guidelines, no spaces, and certain characters are not allowed. So if you want to use a space, you would want to use an underscore. However, for my functions, I generally do the lower upper method. So get questions, and we are going to want the database connection script because we're going to be connecting to retrieve the questions. So that's going to be a parameter, and let's keep that as it is for now. We will be adding some more parameters in a minute. Make our curly brackets. We'll save it, and let's go ahead and create a variable to hold our query, this time in double quotes. And if you don't understand double and single quotes and the difference between the two, I'm not going to get into it in this lesson or this project. Go ahead and check out our either our PHP basics or our dynamic development basics. Either or has some references to the quotes. I can't remember, but I know at least one of them does. Back on track. What we're going to do is run a query, and it's going to be a select query, and at the moment we're just going to retrieve all questions and output them here. So select all from survey questions. And now we need to create a variable that holds our result. And I've opened up another PHP document here from a previous tutorial we did. So I can grab some blocks of code and just simply paste them out, and I'll explain them, but just to save time, because we've already discussed this in other series. So what this is it's going to save the MySQL, the result of the MySQL query function in the R variable for result. In fact, just for your reference, we'll go ahead and make this a little more descriptive here. So what this is going to look for is it's going to look for the connection script, which we have passed to this function, and the query. And so now the R, or the result variable, is going to hold all of our results. Now what we need to do is retrieve that information. So we're going to say if result, and what we need to do now is run a while loop, which I'm going to paste from a previous document. While loop has the curly brackets as well. Let's go ahead and knock this back. So what we're saying is while the row variable, which we are creating at the moment, equals the MySQL fetch array function, which this function takes two parameters at the moment: the result of our query and then the type of array we want to create. And refer back to our Basics of PHP video if you want to learn more about arrays. But this is going to create an associative array. We could make a numeric array if we wanted to too. Basically, it's just telling PHP what the key names are going to be. Is it going to be a numeral like 1 through 10, or is it going to be, in this case, it's going to take the field name of the tables, or the field names of the table, and those will be the keys. So what we're going to do, similar to our other tutorials, is we're going to go ahead and save the values to a easier to reference variable name. So from the survey questions, we need to get the question itself, and we'll just call this body equals, and we need to reference the row array as arrays work, we need to put the key within these brackets here, and we need to pick which key is associated with the field we want in this body, and what we want is the question body field or column. So as this runs, it's going to spit out every single question within the survey questions table. So what our goal is going to be is echo, and we need to echo out the value of this body here, but we need to do it within some HTML. So let's pop back over here to our form, and we're going to go ahead and take this entire div here for the entry div here, and this time we're going to copy it just in case we want to come back to this, because we're going to mash up our code a little bit. For now, we're going to go ahead and just paste this block of code here within these echo tags, and then figure out what we need to do with it here now. So now what's going to go on is for each question in the database, it's going to spit out this code here, and we need to send the body here where the question name is supposed to be. And that way, each time the query finds a new question, as this query is running, it's going to spit out a whole new block here, a whole new entry block. So as in previous tutorials, we need to place the value of the variable in here, and in order to do that within the single quotes, we need to concatenate, which the syntax for that is the single quote to stop the echo, the period to concatenate, the variable name, and period to concatenate, and single quote to continue on with the echo statement. So for giggles, let's just go ahead and save this and upload it. And just to make sure that we don't need to reference this later, I'm going to go ahead and turn that into a comment here. And I'm going to place it, I'm going to cut it and paste it down here at the bottom of our page. And we'll probably remove this later, but we may need to reference it a little bit here. So in our content area, unlike these, we're not going to turn this whole div into an inline here, or put it all in one line, but we're going to put our PHP inline again. And let's, within these PHP tags, let's run our function. And what did we call it? We called it get questions. So get questions. And we have at the moment one parameter, which is the database connection. And there you have it. I'm going to do some quick commenting before we run this. Let's go ahead and, alright, as you can see, I've done a little more commenting here. This is something I've only recently started doing, and I don't do it all the time, but it's worth noting, I think. When running these functions, I've gone ahead and not only commented to say this is the header, which is probably pretty obvious, but I've also given it a type of function so that I can refer to it, either a type or the actual location of the function. And this could help later on when I need to figure out where in the world I created this get questions function. Anyway, so let's save and upload. And I don't remember if we uploaded our sandbox, so let's go ahead and save and upload that. And come to our page. And refresh. And there you go. There's our two questions. In the next videos, we're going to get a little more in depth with our queries. I just wanted to introduce the query within a function before we moved on to the next videos.